So you want to become a New York State security guard. Fairly simple, not too expensive, and there's plenty of jobs available. Not necessarily for U.S. Security Associates, but that's what I work for. First, we got the instructions of what you need on the application. Of course, you need the actual application, which I don't have in front of me, but I will get the link and put it below in case you want it. And you are going to need a certificate saying you took the 8-hour pre-assignment course, which is about $75 depending on what part of New York you're in. And I'll show you an example of the certificate. So this is what a certificate is supposed to look like. I would recommend making copies before you turn in this one, just in case you may need it for whatever. A signed DMV informed consent. It's a piece of paper which comes with the application saying you can use your photo from like your permit, license, whatever you have. And then of course you're going to need to get fingerprinted, which is probably the most expensive part of this whole process in New York. It cost, I believe, $75 for the place I went to for fingerprinting, and $36 for the New York State Department of State, the place where you get your license from. And then if you're doing armed, you'll have to do extra for that. If you're applying for the armed security registration, a course completion certificate of or for 48 hours of firearms training, or a copy of the waiver issued by the Division of Criminal Justice Service if you are an ex-cop, and anything else like that. Requirements, just gotta be 18. And here's required training. Yeah, let's go to this page. For unarmed, which is more widely available but lesser pay, all you need is the 8-hour pre-assignment, which I discussed a little bit ago. And then there's the 16-hour on-the-job training. That's about $100 to $150 depending on where you go, or also if you get hired, because you can take that without being hired. Some employers will actually be happy that you have it before you apply. However, I got mine through my company, didn't have to pay, I just didn't get paid for the day. Well, for the 2 days. It's pretty boring. I didn't learn anything that I didn't already know. So it's pretty basic stuff. It's just really mind-numbing. And when there is annual training, as you can see, whether it's just in service or firearms, if you're doing armed guard, you will need another 8 hours on top of just the unarmed 8-hour. Also, the license is good for 2 years. You have to renew, which is $25, I believe, for a 2-year license. So it is ongoing payment. So review, security guard, need 8-hour pre-assignment, 16-hour on-the-job training, which if you get hired by a company, they'll just tell you, here's a date, go to those 2 days and give them the certificate. And then for each renewal, you're going to need 2 8-hour annual in service, or 8-hour per year. And that's pretty much it. Unarmed is very simple. When you get into the armed security guard, it's a little bit more confusing, because basically with the initial training, it's the same 8-hour pre-assignment, 16-hour on the job, but then you also have that 47-hour firearms training, which it's a lot more complicated than it sounds. You'll need a pistol permit, and then you'll need to get an unarmed license before you can get the armed. Pretty much 47 hours, which is about 6 days of training. one in class. A lot of shooting. I think at least 500 rounds. You have to bring your own firearm. You have to have your own holster. Have your own everything. And the course is minimum $600. So it's pretty pricey. Unless you have a job lined up, it's almost not worth it to spend, I would say, at least $700-800 if you don't have everything you need for the class, like the holster, all the ammo. Ammo is expensive because you need at least a 38 special revolver or higher, or larger caliber, or at least a 9mm semi-auto. So those are the two requirements for the firearms training. I looked into it. I really wanted to do it, but for the money that I'd have to be out of my pocket, not knowing when I'd have a job for it, wasn't worth the risk. And then, like Unarmed, you're going to have to do an 8-hour annual in-service training, which is just basically 1 day of sitting in class, listening to some guy talk about whatever. It's basically the same thing as your 8-hour pre-assignment and your 16 on the job. Those classes are almost identical. And then, of course, you got the 8-hour annual firearms training, just to make sure you're still as good shot as when you first got certified. Just so they know, since you are carrying a firearm, it is pretty crucial. And those classes run about $100, give or take, depending on where you go. Exemptions, I'm not going to go over that. If you want to pause the video here, this is all the information you'll need to know. That's where you're going to have to send your application with the check. I'm not sure what the check would be made out to. You can check the website www.dos.newyork.gov, and that will have application, everything I'm showing you right now. And here's just a little thing with my chicken scratch handwriting. This is the security guard prices. I made this up before I even applied. 8-hour pre-assignment, $70 for the particular place I was going to. $100. My particular security company I work for, they charge $150 for a 16-hour. So, I mean, that's $75 a day I saved by doing it through the company. And the particular place I chose, or I wanted to go to, was $650, but another place was $600, but it was a little bit farther drive. Application fee, $36 for Unarmed. Fingerprints, wow, I guess it was more than $75. $102.25, in case you can't read that. An upgrade fee, Unarmed to Armed, is $25 if you choose to go that route. Annual, and you notice I put the one time, because once you pay that, then you're done paying. But then annually, you'd be paying almost $200 just for in-service for Armed. But if you're just unarmed, like me, $70 a year, not too bad. Or if you go through a company, they'll probably pay for you again. And then registration every 2 years, $25. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, if you go to that website, which is, I'll show you once more, www.dos.newyork or ny.gov. That will have all this stuff I'm showing you, have the full application, any questions you may have. You can check out the site. You can PM me, leave me a comment below. I know this video is a little long. Hopefully can get this done shortly, but I just wanted to put this out there. Coming from a janitor, cleaning, custodian job, and I guess you could say career, because it's been over 3.5 years that I did it after high school and college. It was probably the nicest thing I've ever done, going from that type of job to security. Not because I'm lazy, but because of the different environment, different interaction you have. With being a cleaner, you're pretty much by yourself the whole time. You don't see anybody. If you're cleaning at a retail place, it's usually when everyone's gone, or school or office building, everyone's usually gone. But with security, you're, for the most part, you may work third shift and not deal with people. But for the most part, 7 a.m. till 9 p.m., you're dealing with a lot of people. And that was one thing I didn't think I'd like, but I do like, and I enjoy it a lot. And it's not for everybody because there's going to be a lot of downtime, but there's also going to be a lot of times where you don't have enough hands to do everything. But that's about it. In case anyone wants to know about U.S. Security Associates, you can PM me, comment below. I'll be happy to tell you all about them. I've only worked there for over 2 months so far. I plan on staying with them as long as possible. They are a great company. They are a little slow with uniforms and everything you need, but you don't pay for it, so I can deal with that. They're very professional. So yeah, I couldn't be happier, and I got hired with zero security, zero anything like that experience. All I've had was cleaning experience, and because the branch manager wanted to give me a shot because I went out and got the license prior to applying, she wanted to give me a chance because it showed I really want it. So if anyone out there wants to get a security job, I would recommend getting your security guard license before applying to places, because you may end up getting the job. I know some will just hire people without license, and then you can go get your card, your security guard card, through the company, which a lot of people at this particular branch, they do hire a lot of unlicensed guards, but I'm probably one of the few who actually had their card prior to being hired. Anyway, this video is becoming way too long. Enough about me. Any questions, comments, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. Or if I can't answer them, I'll give you a link or somewhere to give you direction. Alright, I appreciate you watching. I hope this helped. Sorry it's so long again, but I thought I needed to give back. So if you're interested in being a security guard, go out, go do it. It's a very nice career field. Alright, thank you for watching.